So, I know I haven't really made a lot of videos lately. I've been doing more community posts. Um, I just wanted to talk really quick about false teachers and the works system. Look, it all looks really good. Like when you see people doing good works and you see people going to church and listening to the pastor and listening to how they need to keep the commandments, at least, try to keep the commandments, you know what I mean? Or keep some of the commandment. It sounds really good when you hear it. Don't get me wrong, it sounds really good. See, that's why we say we delight in the commandments, because it does sound good. Even though the law is against us, we delight in it because we know it's good. You know what I mean? It doesn't bless us, it doesn't do anything but condemn us, but we know it's good. And that's why we feel like, hey, I could do that. It's not that hard. Well, it's harder than you think, because when it comes to the law, God expects it to be kept perfectly. And that's where it shuts you up. That's where it condemns you. See, that's where the condemnation comes from. It's like, you've already broken it. So that's why you can't keep it, even if you wanted to. You know? So I believe there is a part of us that wants to keep commandments. But the problem is, we can't. You know what I mean? Hey, if I could be justified by keeping at least half the commandments or one of the commandments, I would try and do it, but I can't. I can't keep the law. The only thing I can do is believe the gospel and recognize brothers and sisters by their testimony. That's it, So, anyways, and people accuse us of having a license to sin. It's not that we have a license to sin. First of all, we sin either way. We all have desires. We all have a sinful nature. And they'll say, well, it's because you act on that nature. Well, you're acting on that nature too. You're acting on your religious performance. So, um, but yeah, it's just, we admit that, yeah, it does look good. That's the same thing with Adam and Eve. It looked good. The tree of good and evil, not, Satan tempted them. He said, you could be like God. And that's what religion does. It makes us think we can be like God, but we can't. So, and people say, well, what's wrong with being like God? Well, yeah, God is perfect, holy, and good, and he is good. And we will be like God when we get into the new kingdom. We'll be more Christ-like, more God-like. I don't want to say we're going to be gods, but I just want to say that we will have more, we will have the attributes. We will be definitely more holy-like. None of us really know what it's going to be. We just know that we're not going to sin anymore. We're going to love God the way we should. We're going to, we just know it's going to be something that we can't really understand right now, even though we do have an understanding. But, all we can do is live by faith, and that's about it, not by sight. So, and that includes believers too, these religious folks, religious types, they don't live by faith and not by sight. They judge. So whenever I see a believer, even if they're acting really carnal or really bad, Or they'll say, well, I'm justified by faith, even though I'm murdering somebody. Well, if you really believe that, you know, who am I to say that you're not a believer? Only God can tell, you know? That's like, even in the way that it's just, sometimes it's the way people say it that makes us think, well, maybe he's not really a believer because he's not saying it in the right way. Well, all I can say is that all we can do is recognize a person by their testimony. If they really believe, then they're saved. I can't do anything about that. You know, and I shouldn't want to do anything about that. You should want them to be saved. So for their sake, you know, so for their sake, and then for Christ's sake too. Because Christ died for everybody's sins. So whenever you see someone who's admitting, even if they may be kind of snarky about it, I don't know. Only the Lord knows. So, but yeah. Anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about really quick. All right. Hope you guys have a good day. Bye.